y'all, I'm Jamie and I'm the traveling dietitian. I'm down here in Port Aransas, Texas in the Gulf of Mexico, and I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about my van and give y'all a tour of it. So a little bit about myself. As the name implies, I am a dietitian. So earlier this year, I quit my full-time job at a private practice to pursue full-time travel. I love what I do as a dietitian, so I still work with some clients on the side, but that's enough about me. Let me tell y'all more about my truck. So this is a 2005 Sprinter box truck. Now I wanted a pre-2007 model because in 2007, they started requiring the Blue DEF. So that is a diesel fuel additive. I just didn't want to mess with that, and I knew anything before that was still high quality, so I'm really glad that I found the 2005 model. So it's a 2.7 liter turbo diesel engine. I'm getting on average around 18 to 20 miles per gallon, and for this big of a rig, I am very happy with that. So let me show y'all a little bit about the interior here. So everything is stock. I didn't do anything to it once I got it because I wanted to keep it really stealth so I can be urban camping and it just looks like a moving van or whatever. All right, so let's go over here on the other side and I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about the actual box. So the box itself is 14 feet long, 7 feet tall, and 7 feet wide. That's making it 98 square feet on the inside, which is pretty roomy. In total with the truck, it's about 22 feet long, so it's not bad getting into kind of typical parking spots. As you can see, I did add a window. So the window is really nice because I get some ventilation, which is super important. I get some light that comes in there, but I can also put a curtain over it and can remain stealth. Now up top, I do have some solar panels. So I have 3 100-watt solar panels to total about 300 watts of solar power. I'll tell you all a little bit more about how I rigged that up when I'm on the inside. So we moved back here. One of the reasons I was just so excited to have a box truck is because of roll-up door. I mean, look at this. I can have the back of my van completely open. Now to help when I'm especially in places like this where there's bukus of flies, I made myself a screen back here that y'all can see, and it just attaches with magnets. That way I can still have the whole door up and enjoy this view, but I don't have to get all those flies in my house, you know? So a little bit about my storage back here. I really wanted to keep the inside storage separate from the outside, kind of like this is my garage to kind of keep the tools and everything separated. So most of this really is just for my tools. Now in this little drawers over here, the top is most of my electrical stuff. I have some of my screws, fasteners, other hardware in this middle one. And down here I have like gloves and rags and things I might need for that. Over here, this drawer is mainly my automotive tools. I have some jumper cables in here if I need those. And then in the middle here, I have most of my like hardware, my woodworking tools. And so if I do anything on the inside, I have everything I need for that. And just other miscellaneous tools over here. Now, I did end up going with a portable potty. So I went with a Camco 5-gallon porta potty. I could totally get away with not having a restroom here. I have some good porta potties nearby, but just in case I'm in the middle of the wilderness or trying to be really stealth, I have this porta potty. It's super convenient, and the 5-gallon is like the perfect size. I do have a 7-gallon freshwater tank back here. Now I have a larger 23-gallon freshwater tank that I'll show y'all on the inside. So as a total, I have about 30 gallons of fresh water, so it's pretty good, and I can use that as drinking water or whatever I need it for. Now over here, I have some extra oil, other miscellaneous tools and things like that. I do have a table, so I'm setting up camp somewhere. I can get out my camping chairs to my table and really set up. And then I have my longboards just in case I need to take a quick ride into town or something. So coming over on this side, like I said, the ultimate goal is to keep it stealth as possible. I did get this camper door. So for the door and the window on the other side, I made a lot of phone calls and was able to actually find some RVs that I could just extract these doors off of. This door was $75, which is exponentially cheaper than buying one new. And then the window on the other side was only $25. So A little bit more work, but totally worth it on the price savings. I went ahead and painted this whole door white, again, to keep it stealth. And one of my favorite parts is I installed a magnet over here. So if I open it up, it goes ahead and stays unless I get like a super big gust of wind or something. I did get the screen door, also a very important part of it, because that way, again, I can keep the flies out, but I can keep the cool, good air in. And then it's just really convenient to have it in times like this. And then I also have this handle to kind of help me get up there. But all that to say, let's get on the inside and I'll show you all more about the interior. All right, y'all, so let's start the inside tour of the van, obviously with the most important part, and that's my bed. So I wanted the bed to be big enough to where I was comfortable, but not like too big to where it took up too much space in the rest of the box. So I ended up going with a full-size bed. It's the size of the bed I had at my house, so great transition. I went with an 8-inch memory foam mattress, and I mean, it's perfect. It's just like having my great bed at home. Now, a really important word about the bed is going to be the construction of it underneath. So I went with wooden slats, and I really just want to stress to you guys to not do thick regular plywood on there, because what happens when your bed can't breathe is if you get any moisture under there, you're going to get mold or something bad's going to happen. So make sure you don't do straight plywood, you do some wooden slats, that way it can breathe. Now I did do a little lip at the end of the bed over here, just so I could have some storage at the end of my bed. I just think it's so convenient, you know, you push something off the end of your bed, and I have some extra storage there. Now for the under the bed storage, in my opinion, it's a funny story, all right? So with this, I knew I wanted to do drawers because that would give me storage for all of my clothing and everything like that. But once I started looking at the hardware and the construction and the price of everything to build my own drawers, it just seemed like such a big project. So one night I was laying in bed and I looked at my dresser and I was like, what if I measure that and it's perfect for my under the bed storage? And it was, y'all. So this is just my dresser that was from my bedroom, and all I had to do was take off the bottom legs that were on there, and I just built it up on its own frame down here so it's still lifted and flush with under the bed right here. And then I have some additional storage under here for any of my coats or my big clothes, or I also put my shoes under there, so super convenient, and I'm in love with having drawers under here for my clothing. Now we move on over here. So this is kind of an extension of my countertops from the kitchen. This countertop is just from IKEA. It was about $50, super convenient. And I did this extension because when I'm in bed and I want to just like have my phone over here, have a lamp, whatever, it's just super easy to have that extra by the bed. And then the cool part is I can also lift this up and then I just slide it down, and then I actually have a couch down here, so another area of seating. I am going to have some memory foam up here to make it like an actual comfy couch. I just haven't got around to doing that just yet. And then under here is the meat of this whole operation, right? So in here, we're going to see I have my solar controller for my 300 watts of solar power. I have my fuse box, my inverter, and then my battery. I do also have my 23-gallon freshwater tank right here. And then this is actually a really convenient power strip for anything that runs off of AC, which is going to be my fridge. And honestly, y'all, this is, I think, the most complicated and intimidating parts of the van when you first start to build that out. But once you get on YouTube, I mean, I spent hours. It was like a full-time job just figuring out how to wire up the whole van. But there's so much info out there on YouTube, and I just firmly believe that you can do anything. If y'all want me to do a video strictly on, you know, all of the solar power, inverter, everything like that, happy to play a part in helping you out. I forgot to mention a couple things right here. So firstly, these little fans, these may look like tiny little fans, but they are fierce. So when I'm in a hot climate, these keep me pretty cool. I'm going to mount them just right up here by the avocado, so they can just blow right down on me when I'm in bed. And my favorite part about this extension of the countertop because I do a lot of recipe testing in the van, and obviously, you know, it's a van, so I don't have the luxury of just a huge kitchen. So I can have something on the stove, I can be plating and doing my photography over here, and also just have a whole bunch going on, and it makes me feel like I still have a lot of counter space. Now coming into the actual kitchen, we'll start up here. So I have just a couple of little racks here that I use for, you know, building up my spices, my oil, everything like that. And then for my stovetop, I took a lot of time to think about this, and honestly the simplest thing for me was just to do a camper stove or a camping stove, and it's a 2-burner propane stove, and I do have it actually permanently fixated right here with just my cord goes behind the fridge down to my 20-pound propane tank, so super convenient. I don't have to hook it up every time I'm going to use it. If y'all notice under here, I do have a strip of LED lights. Need to kind of fix that section right there. And that way I have some really clean, good lighting when I'm cooking in the kitchen. And then for the countertops up here, I went and for my storage up here, I did just a wooden frame and then just inserted it in here and then installed this nice top on it. And I did some gas struts, that way I don't have to hold it open, it's super convenient. And I have pretty much all of my cups, my bowls, my plates, everything I need. I'm a huge jar freak, so it's also a little bit of my dry storage like beans and grains and things like that. But plenty of storage up there. And then for my sink, I went with a really simple but deep stainless steel sink. Y'all can see some of my dishes still in there right now. And then the water's just hooked up to its water pump, so super simple 4-stage water filter, so I can also drink that water, which is perfect. And then moving over to my fridge, y'all. So I just moved out of a house with 6 other people, so there are 7 of us total. So I'm used to having such a small piece of a fridge anyways, but having this entire fridge to myself is like a luxury. I feel blessed every single day because I have this fridge. And it's pretty roomy. I have no problem fitting anything I need, all my LaCroix, my left-hand brewing stout. It's perfect. I love my fridge. All right, and then over here, y'all can see I also have additional storage up here. And so this cabinet is actually a little bit deeper than the other one, and I can literally fit so much up in here. This half is actually my pantry, and then the rest of it is just miscellaneous. And since it goes into that corner, I literally just have so much space up there. I love it. So then here, welcome to my dining room. And so I have these 2 benches, as y'all can see. This first bench is fixed in here, so I can't move it, and you can actually lift it up, and I have even more storage in there. This memory foam I'm going to cover in some nice durable material, so I have some really comfy seats on there. And then my table right here, I just have it fixed with a couple hooks and a bungee cord, and then I just drop it down just like this, and then I can sit about 4 people comfortably here. Now with the table, I am going to do either a wood stain or some paint and then a couple layers of poly just to make it, you know, to where it won't stain as easily and it'll look a lot more finished. This also doubles as my office, and I mean, I have some beautiful views out there while I'm working with some of my clients, and it's just honestly the perfect setting for this. And then I just put it back up here, and it travels really well. It's super sturdy up there and really simple. Now with this other bench right here, this one isn't fixed in. Now, I do also have the storage, so it gives me even more storage and it's seating, but I can move it to be parallel to the other one, and that's why I said I can seat about 4 people at my table comfortably. 2 here, 2 there, really cute bar seating. But my favorite part, and why I'm so happy I went with this floor plan, is because when it's parallel, I can actually turn it into a guest bed. So under here, I have some additional storage and I have some thick plywood. So I just put it up on that when it's parallel, put down more memory foam, and I have nearly a full-size bed, just a little short of a full-size bed. I actually had a couple, Lenny and Dan, some of my favorite people. They came and stayed with me in Colorado. It's kind of like a warm-up trip for the van, and they said it was super cozy, and I don't think they lie to me. And the best part about it all, though, is even when the bed is made, I could still come and walk and access the fridge and access the sink without any problems, and we didn't feel like we were like on top of each other. And now some of the other kind of details in here. For the flooring, I just did some vinyl flooring that I picked up from Lowe's, cut it to size, rolled it out, glued it down, and it just adds that extra layer of finish in here. The original floor is just wood down below, so I cleaned that very well multiple times and then put that flooring down last after most of the construction was done. And then over here, we have the walls. And I'm sure a big question, right, is what about the insulation? So I did hours of research to figure out what would be the best insulation, but would also be efficient and just the best one to go with. And so I ended up doing closed cell spray foam that I had professionally done. Took that hassle away for myself, made it even easier. But with the spray foam that's closed cell, I know that it's not going to have any cracks. It's really going to fill everything in. And it had the highest R value that I personally could find. Now, it did cost me about $500, so it's more on the pricey side, but it was simple, easy, and I know it's high quality. With the walls themselves, it already had this plywood on the walls. I just unscrewed them all, took them out, cleaned them really well, had to clean up a lot of the edges, put them back on, painted them white. Well, I painted them white and then put them back on. There's been a lot of construction since then in here, so I do need to go back, sand down some spots, fill in some spots, and probably do another layer of paint. Now if we look up, we can talk about the ceiling. So I went with tongue and groove for the ceiling with a dark walnut stain. And as y'all can see with my height, I mean, for me to install this ceiling, thank goodness I had some good help, but I was just like fully extended trying to do this ceiling, just like, ugh. But I got it done and I'm super proud of it. I love it. I went with recessed lighting. All the lighting here is LED, so really clean, really simple, low-powered lighting. And my favorite thing about this lighting is I actually have it hooked up to a dimmer switch. So when I'm out somewhere like in the wilderness, it's really dark and I need high quality light, I can turn it all the way up. But if I'm in a more stealth location, I can put these puppies on way low. So I'm super stealth, doesn't have to be obvious that I am a camper out there, which is really what I was going for. And then up here, we also have my max air fan. If you're building on a camper, you have to have some sort of ventilation. I can't stress that to y'all enough. I went with a max air fan, just saw I had really great reviews, did so much research, and that's just the one I personally went with, but either way, make sure you have some sort of ventilation system in here. The thing I do like about this is it's a 10-speed fan. It can blow air in, it can suck air out, and you can have that vent open when you're driving, because let's be real, it happens sometimes, you forget. But also if it's raining, I can still use that vent system because you can leave it open and nothing's gonna get in there. So that's the inside, y'all. Hopefully y'all love it. All right, so I know a big question about building out a van is how much is it gonna cost? So to build out this van, it cost me about $5,000, and that's including the lumber, the electrical, the solar panels, pretty much everything. And that's me keeping it on a pretty low budget. You can easily spend a lot more money on this, but I tried to do it in a more budget-friendly way. The van itself also costed about $5,000, and that's after all of the repairs and making sure it's running well. And that's it, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in on my Sprinter box conversion tour. I'm super excited to get some more content out there on the Sprinter box truck. I didn't see a lot out there on YouTube when I was creating my own, so hopefully having this content can really help you if you're wanting to create your own box truck conversion. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up below. That like will really help me to expand and reach more people, inspire them along their journey too. And if you want to follow along for the rest of the journey, you can subscribe to my videos. But I'll see you guys next time. Hey y'all, should I wave? Take two. I'm here today in Port Aransas, Texas, in the Gulf of Mexico. Take three. A question that I'll start over. Yeah. That's way too close. Okay. So this is a 2005 Dodge Take whatever.